Ooh, Chicago Sky, y'all stink, bro. Y'all, look, there's trash and then there's trash. You know what I'm saying? But look, man, the Chicago Sky got destroyed by the stud buds. Everybody watches the stud buds. Shout out to Courtney Williams and Tisha Heiderman, man. Listen, stud buds stood on business today. Napheesa Collier stood on business today. They destroyed the Chicago Sky.
What happens when Napheesa Collier turns beast mode on and decides Angel Reese isn't ready for the grown woman league? Oh, it gets ugly. Chicago Sky fans brought popcorn. They should have brought tissues. Angel tried to flex, but Napheesa handed out reality checks like Oprah with gift bags. And someone really needs to tell Reese, "You're not Caitlin Clark, boo." Buckle up, because this meltdown is louder than Reese's lashes and messier than her post-game interviews. Let's dive in.
This is a piss poor effort by Chicago Sky. 91-68. Just terrible game all across the board. This a throwaway. This is a throwaway right here. Now, Chicago came in this game shorthanded. I don't know if they knew they were supposed to play basketball today. I mean, god dang. Did they forget they had to play basketball today?
And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse for the Sky, Napheesa started rotating defenders like she was trying out new sparring partners. None of them lasted long. Angel Reese, the so-called enforcer, ended up looking more like a confused bystander in her own home arena. Every possession felt like deja vu. Chicago tossing up bricks and Napheesa cleaning the glass like she was auditioning for a Mr. Clean commercial. The Lynx didn't just execute, they humiliated.
And the laughter. Oh, Angel. Oh, my angel, you're my darling. Angel, angel, angel. You've been playing well, Angel. I give it to you. You've been playing well. But every now and then, those stinkers, oh man, they are stinky.
Reese tried to hold her ground, but the moment demanded a superstar, and what showed up was someone trying to manufacture swagger without the game to back it up, at least not on this night. It was painfully clear who the real leader was. Collier commanded every inch of the court like it was her birthright. The footwork, pristine. The timing, impeccable. The reads, cold-blooded. This wasn't just dominance. It was an expose on what maturity, IQ, and work ethic look like when they're all firing at once.
Angel Reese had 9 turnovers. Yo, listen, y'all got to stop with this point forward foolishness, man. Let's take a look, man. Hold on, man. Y'all be wildin'. Y'all be wildin', son. Bruh, come on, man. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop, yo.
Meanwhile, Chicago played like they had their pregame speech delivered by a malfunctioning AI. No rhythm, no urgency, and no answer for Napheesa's methodical dismantling of their defense. Every Sky timeout felt like damage control. Every bench reaction screamed disbelief. By the final quarter, even the fans seemed to know it. This wasn't a matchup. It was a masterclass. And Angel Reese, she didn't just get outplayed. She got taught. Lesson 1. You can talk big all you want, but there's levels to this, and Napheesa's in a whole different league.
So we're fresh out of All-Star break, and the bricklaying slough is out there, still being the worst basketball player of all time, man. Getting her ass beat once again by the Minnesota Lynx by 23 points. But remember how she sat out that game and the Chicago Sky still got their ass beat, and they was like, Angel Reese is the heart of the team and the Chicago Sky needs her. And guess what? She played today and got her ass beat again by 23 points.
Meanwhile, Angel Reese was out there auditioning for the Guinness Book of World Records, but not the kind you want. 9 turnovers. Yes, 9, as in nearly double digits, as in she nearly had a triple-double. If you count turnovers as a stat worth bragging about, double-double truthers, this is your queen. 11 points, 11 rebounds, and a glorious train wreck in between every possession she touched the ball. The best part? Chicago actually looked better when Reese sat on the bench. That's not sarcasm, that's numbers, that's film. That's every exhausted Sky fan sighing in relief when the turnovers paused for 2 merciful minutes. It's like the team could finally breathe without someone throwing the ball directly into traffic. The Lynx weren't playing basketball, they were running a free clinic. Quarter by quarter, they peeled back every delusion Chicago had about being a playoff team. The Sky's defense looked like a group project where nobody did their homework. The offense, like someone forgot to turn the PlayStation on.
Whoa, man, look. Here goes turnover Tamika's stat line. Now listen, she got 11, 10, and 3. Now mind you, they was down by 20. She only had 7 points. So she stayed in garbage time just to make sure she got this weak double-double. One thing y'all know, I'm going to always come with the proof for anything I say. 11 points, that's when she scored. They was down by 20 points with 6 minutes left. Garbage time. But whoa, buddy.
By the second quarter, Napheesa Collier had clearly downloaded Reese's tendencies like a veteran gamer studying a newbie's every button mash. She read every pass, boxed her out with precision, and made her presence so loud you could hear Reese's confidence unravel in real time. Chicago tried rotating coverages, but it was like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. No matter how pretty you spin it, the whole thing was still sinking. And the energy? Chicago brought joggers to a sprint meet. Lynx players zipped through the lane like they were late for a flight, while Sky players looked like they were still waiting on boarding passes. The beatdown wasn't just physical, it was psychological, surgical, and utterly humiliating. While Reese was busy pulling her best impression of a malfunctioning Roomba, Napheesa Collier and Kayla McBride were putting on a masterclass in team basketball. McBride had another 19-point night, raining down shots like she got paid by the bucket. The whole Minnesota starting lineup was in the plus 20 efficiency club like it was VIP night. Chicago, on the other hand, shot under 40% from the field, which in the WNBA is roughly the basketball equivalent of slipping on a banana peel and landing in a dumpster. Every possession was a struggle. Every pass looked like it was being made underwater.
I'm telling you, with a win last night, Angel Reese would have surpassed the Rue from Waterloo in popularity. Now, I am not saying that her dozens of aliases would have passed Caitlin Clark, but Angel Reese herself, she definitely would have. Going into the game last night, Cheryl Reed, the head coach of the Minnesota Lynx, she told the doofus duo who refer to themselves as stud buds, she told them, if they lost this game to the Chicago Bravado, they would no longer be allowed to stream on Twitch.
And let's talk about that 23-team turnover stat. That's not basketball. That's performance art. Oh, and for those still trying to sell the narrative that Angel Reese is some elite point forward, stop it. Put the Kool-Aid down. You're embarrassing yourselves. Point forwards require handles, vision, poise. Reese showed none of that. Her attempts at initiating offense looked like deleted scenes from a blooper reel. One of her turnovers was so confusing, even the Minnesota bench looked stunned. What was she trying to do? Teleport the ball? Launch it into orbit? And let's not ignore Collier's dominance. She wasn't just scoring, she was orchestrating a clinic in spatial awareness and timing. The woman moved like she had the cheat codes. Anytime she touched the ball, Chicago looked like they were bracing for a natural disaster. The Sky tried everything. Zone defense, man-to-man, divine intervention, you name it, nothing worked. Meanwhile, Angel Reese kept bumping into teammates, dribbling into double teams like she was doing it for cardio. At one point, she stared down the shot clock like it personally offended her. There's a difference between confidence and chaos, and unfortunately, Reese spent most of the game in the latter category.
Angel Reese has been absolutely fantastic in the month of July. Has been absolutely fantastic in the month of July. We are not questioning that. But today, this was the hate watch of dreams. Angel Reese coming in 2 of 6 with 9 turnovers in garbage time. And you better believe there is no better player in the entire WNBA than Angel Reese in garbage time. We saw it. Angel Reese last year against the Fever with like 2 minutes to go. She needed to, I think it was like 6 points and 3 rebounds. And she went and caught like 2 me-bounds.
Kayla McBride? She looked like she was playing a private game of how many ways can I embarrass you? Baseline jumpers, corner threes, mid-range assassinations, pick your poison. The Sky defenders kept falling for her fakes like it was their first time on hardwood. This wasn't just a loss, it was a televised tutorial in humiliation. Minnesota made statements. Chicago made excuses. And Reese? She's going to need more than TikToks and sound bites to survive the next round of tape reviews. And because chaos loves company, Reese also racked up her 7th technical foul of the season. That puts her at the front of the line for an automatic suspension. Incredible. Truly, one game away from watching from home because she couldn't keep her cool during a blowout loss. Leadership apparently means starting beefs with former college teammates while getting swatted at the rim like a fly on a picnic table. Speaking of getting swatted, Chicago kept feeding Reese the ball in the post like it was going to magically stop the bleeding. It didn't. It just gave the Lynx more chances to rack up blocks and force turnovers. Reese kept driving at defenders who clearly did not RSVP for her antics. Diamond Miller sent that shot to another zip code. And yet, Reese kept returning for more like a rom-com protagonist chasing the wrong love interest.
Angel Reese has been balling lately. I mean, she's been playing well. What can I say? What can I say? She's had quite the stretch the last month or so. Double-double, 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 double-double. A 22-15 game in there, a 24-16 game in there. Shooting relatively well from the field, 50%, 43%, 52%, 43%, 55%, 60%, 57%. Not too bad. Not too bad. But you know what they say? All good things must come to an end.
Let's not ignore the broader context here. Minnesota is having a monster season. They're 21-4. They're not just beating teams, they're disassembling them. They make playoff hopefuls look like junior varsity squads. And while Collier is doing this with surgical efficiency, Reese is turning the ball over with the passion of someone trying to break a curse. She's not a point forward, she's a point forfeiter. Even Chicago's own offense gave up on her. When Reese wasn't on the court, the Sky actually moved the ball. The offense breathed. Players passed, cut, found open shots. But the second she came back in, boom, ball stopping, forced drives, errant passes to nobody. Like she was possessed by the spirit of bad basketball decisions. Camila Cardoso gave us a 10-10 game, but even she looked worn out from trying to clean up the mess. Courtney Williams, bless her effort, tried to facilitate something resembling an offense, but with teammates turning possessions into turnovers faster than you can say McDouble stat padding, there wasn't much she could do. Meanwhile, the Lynx were practically throwing a team picnic. Every play looked smooth, coordinated, and planned. Players knew where to be, when to cut, when to pass. It was basketball ballet. Chicago? Interpretive dance with blindfolds.
Just when I thought she was turning her season around, just when I thought Angel Reese was graduating from pretend basketball player to make-believe basketball player, the level where it's almost believable that Angel Reese is a basketball player. Just when I thought Angel Reese would pull through in the clutch and do America a favor. With a win last night against the Minnesota Lynx, Angel Reese would have become the most popular player in the WNBA dump. Well, Casey, that's simply not possible. Caitlin Clark will always be the most popular player in the WNBA.
Let's talk stats. Angel Reese, 4 of 8 from the floor. That's solid. But pair that with 9 turnovers, and you've got a math problem nobody wants to solve, especially when those giveaways turn into transition points for a Minnesota team that does not forgive mistakes. She finished with a -19 plus-minus rating. That's not a red flag. That's a flashing billboard with sirens. It gets worse. Reese now leads the entire league in technical fouls. That's right, the rookie, leading the league in techs. She's 1 game away from getting a timeout by league mandate. This is what happens when you mix empty stat chasing with bad attitude and sprinkle in a dash of delusion. Remember when people tried to claim Reese should be in the same conversation as Caitlin Clark? Adorable. Clark's turnovers come from threading impossible passes, creating plays that nobody else sees. Reese's turnovers come from, what exactly? Panic? Ghost defenders? She's throwing no-look passes to Casper. She's traveling like she's trying to cash in frequent flyer miles. And now Chicago is sitting at a putrid 7-16 record. They're 2 games behind the Sparks, which is like being outpaced by a turtle with a limp. The Sky are not just bad, they are inventively bad. They've managed to get worse as the season goes on. That's almost impressive. Almost.
A, Chicago got smoked by Minnesota, and B, Angel Reese had 9 turnovers last night. 9. I'm not celebrating any kind of double-double, 11 points, 11 rebounds, when you had 9 turnovers. No. Double-double or not. Look, Camila Cardoso had 10 points and 10 rebounds and had half the turnovers that Angel Reese had. So,
meanwhile, the Lynx are sitting pretty, building momentum, and developing team chemistry that could take them deep into the playoffs. They're not relying on one player to save them. They're building a system, a culture, a winning identity. Chicago, they're building turnovers into their brand. There's a hard truth that Sky fans are going to have to face. Angel Reese, as currently constructed, is not a franchise cornerstone. She might be a good role player someday, a rebounder, a hustle queen. But if she's your number one option, you're not going anywhere. You're paddling in circles while the playoffs get further and further away. Let's be clear, this isn't about hating on Reese. This is about reality. She is being asked to play a role she is clearly not suited for. And the longer Chicago pretends that she's their savior, the longer they delay building something that can actually win games. The WNBA is not a charity. It's not about likes or social media following. It's about winning. And right now, Reese is contributing to losing basketball at a historic rate. There are flashes of potential. Sure, she can rebound like a monster. She fights on the boards, she hustles. But every single time she brings the ball up or tries to playmake, it ends in disaster. She doesn't have the vision, the handle, or the decision-making. And every coach in the league knows it. They press her, they bait her, and she falls for it every time. It's not a coincidence that Minnesota forced their highest turnover total of the season against Chicago. This was target practice. They saw the film. They knew exactly where the cracks were and pounced.
What did I tweet? There's no more dangerous scorer. I said there's no more dangerous scorer than Angel Reese with 6/8 points in garbage time. Because you better believe she had 7 points in the fourth quarter and she scores on back-to-back possessions, makes 2 tough shots, by the way. And that's not a knock on Angel Reese. If she just stayed that aggressive, the whole game, she wouldn't have had 9 turnovers. The team might have done a little bit better if she had just stayed that aggressive the entire game. But it was a nightmare performance. 9 turnovers to 3 assists. And some of these were calamitous turnovers.
And Reese, instead of adjusting, kept making the same mistakes. If Chicago wants to salvage this season or the next one, they need to make tough decisions. Meanwhile, Angel Reese left with a stat sheet that looked more like a warning label: 9 turnovers, minus 19. 1 technical foul, and a highlight reel full of moments she'll probably pretend never happened. The question now isn't whether Reese is a star. The question is whether Chicago is going to admit that building around someone who thinks double-doubles excuse everything else is a strategy destined to fail. Should the Sky trade her, bench her, rebuild entirely? One thing's clear, whatever they've been doing is not working. Minnesota made sure everyone saw that loud and clear. Reese isn't Caitlin Clark. She's not Napheesa Collier. She might not even be Courtney Williams at this point. And until Chicago realizes that, they're going to keep getting embarrassed by teams that actually know how to play as one. So what's next, Sky fans? Are y'all still riding the double-double hype train, or is it finally time to face the music? Because from the looks of it, Angel Reese didn't just get outplayed. She got exposed.